in the Drexel School of Law. Congratulations on completing trial by combat. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'll say a few things that those of you already know, in the room already know, but we've got some people watching at home. My name is Justin Bernstein. I'm the Director of Trial Advocacy here at UCLA. And I want to start by thanking all of you who traveled across the country, who slept like 3 hours over the last couple nights in preparation, who worked so hard with the hardest case you've ever had. Please give yourselves a round of applause. If any of our judges are watching, I'm very, very grateful that we had so many people turn out to judge, members of the local bar, some of the students here on our trial team, some of our alums. We averaged more than 5 judges per trial, and let's give them a round of applause as thank you. And most of all, I want to thank our co-host at Drexel University Klein School of Law. Next year, this is going to be in Philadelphia again. We go back and forth. They do so much to support this event, even when it's in Los Angeles, from helping with the catering, to organizing, to writing the case, to letting me do a Mission Impossible case. We couldn't do it without their incredible support, and I want to thank Bill Pasquarello from Drexel. I'm going to brag about Drexel for a second. I got to work there for 1 year, and I saw that it's an amazing place to go to law school. Their trial advocacy program is incredible, from their classes to their competition teams. This is a program that averages more than 1 bid to nationals per year. Under Phil's leadership, they've already won multiple national championships. And so, even though I work for a different law school, I can absolutely recommend Drexel. It's a wonderful place. And so, we're thrilled to co-host with you guys. I'm going to give a quick plug for UCLA, and that is, we host this event, both schools, because of our commitment to trial advocacy. Because we care about it at the collegiate level, we care about it at the law school level. We think this is important. And too many American law schools don't care about this, right? Our schools are lucky to have positions like directors of trial advocacy. Most of the schools that you're going to look at literally don't have this position. They don't have a program. And so this event represents our commitment to it. And if you'll indulge me, I'm going to give you 3 simple facts. I'll make them quick, I promise. Number 1, in the spirit of how much UCLA cares about this, like Drexel, we have a scholarship, the Capello Scholarship, like their courtroom scholarship, that is exclusively for AMTA students. And of course, we love people who are all Americans who are here trial by combat, but most of our Capello scholars are people who did AMTA who didn't go to nationals, who weren't all Americans, so we encourage them to apply. So here's my simple fact. In the last 3 years, we've given out, or we've offered, more than $3 million in Capello scholarships. And we intend to continue to try to make law school more affordable for people who want to do this. My second fact. Our trial team's really good. You're standing in front of the trophy case, so you can't see it super well, but I'll use one fact. Law school has its own version of TPR. In the last 5 years, UCLA is number 1, and the gap between UCLA at 1 and the next school at number 2 is larger than the gap between 2 and 100. Our students are extraordinary, and I think they get better when they get here. Third fact, it's not just they do well in the courtroom. I'm really, really proud of how well they do professionally when they graduate. Our students have, on the trial team, nearly 100% employment rate when they graduate. And as one example, the quality of jobs is amazing. For my students who are starting jobs this fall, when they start their jobs, their median starting salary will be just under $250,000, about $225,000 average starting salary for our graduating class. So the students who come here, who come to Drexel, get really amazing educations, and we're so glad to be able to support trial advocacy with this tournament. So I'll turn now to what you really want to hear. This year's tournament was, I think, our hardest ever. We gave you the toughest case. It was complex. It had about twice the number of words as last year's case. Defense had to choose its theory among 7 different verdict forms. 6 of them were used during this competition. And our plaintiff teams only found out 45 minutes before trial which one was going to be used. And despite that, I think the quality of advocacy that we saw was the best we've ever seen. So in a moment, Phil's going to be announcing the top 8. I'll remind everybody of our rules for the final round. The plaintiff gets to call any of the witnesses they want, except for the defense expert. They don't need to tell the defense ahead of time. The defense can call anybody they want, except witnesses who've already been called. you have to have at least one direct examination. And if you examine your own witness as part of the plaintiff's case, for example, and you're the defense, that can count as your direct, right? You have to have at least one cross. And so if the defense witness is taken by the plaintiff and called adverse, we're going to count that as the plaintiff cross. Any questions about how that works? Okay. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Phil Pasquarelli, who's going to announce our top 8 of trial by combat.
All right, so I'm going to announce our top 8. I'm going to ask our 6th, 7th, and 8th place finishers to stand and be recognized, and then our 3rd, 4th, and 5th place winners to come down and receive a trophy that we've got. So, in 8th place, from Tufts, Margaret Meglin. In 7th place, let me make sure I get this right, from Yale, Everett Parker Nublin. In 6th place, from Georgia Tech, Lila Zadell. So I'm going to have our 3rd, 4th, and 5th place finishers come down and receive their trophy. In 5th place, from UCLA, Ria Debnath. So before I announce our top 4, when we have our 2 finalists, I'm going to ask you to come down because there are, of course, a few choices that need to be made. We'll start with 4th place. In 4th place, from Ohio State, Jonathan Hubbard. And in 3rd place, from Harvard, Audrey Vandersloot. That means our 2 finalists from Maryland, Linnea Davidson. And from UChicago, Sam Farnsworth. Justin for the fun part.
All right, so here's the order of operations. The higher seed's going to get to choose their side in just a moment, and that's going to be Linnea as our number 1 seed. So, Linnea is going to choose her side, and then you're going to get to choose your witnesses. Okay, those will be your witnesses regardless of whether or not they're called by you. Right, so you're going to be calling the people who are going to play Doig, and the witness is going to play Lorenzo. Right? Then you're going to play call the person who's going to be Stebbins and Gobian. Okay? Regardless of whether you choose to call them or the other side does. Okay? Once we have the witnesses, you're going to announce, or you're going to announce, depending on whose defense, the verdict form that you're using. Okay? Any questions? Okay. All right, Linnea, which side do you want?
Plaintiff.
All right, let's switch. All right, Sam, who are you going to ask to play your Cole Doig?
Audrey Vandersloot.
And we haven't had this witness called all tournaments, so who is going to be the only person to play Jess Lorenzo, the expert?
Okay.
Were you not prepared for this moment?
I was not. Jonathan Hubbard.
Eli Gogian.
If you would join me up here, Katie, would you please?
That's Katie Volper from Penn, and who is going to be playing the first and only Sky Stebbins for this tournament?
Margaret?
Sam, which verdict form will we be using for this trial?
Verdict form C.
All right. Which one is C?
Denial and comparative negligence.
Great. Okay. Any questions? What time is it right now?
2:11.
2:11. We're going to start the trial at 2:45 sharp. So you can use whatever time between now and then you want to prep. However, here's the rule. You can talk to your coaches, but once you begin preparing either witness, you're no longer going to talk to anybody but your second chair and the witnesses. Okay? So you can talk to your coaches now, but once you start talking to the witnesses, coach communication's over.
Can second chairs talk to witnesses while talking to the coach?
So think of it as you can't talk to the witnesses until your whole team is done talking to the coach.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to chat with the coaches and the advocates briefly outside about one aspect of the round. Otherwise, good luck, and we'll be starting trial at 2:45.